Hi, Matt with eTrailer. If you have a 2024 Toyota RAV4 and you're looking for a set of chains that are pretty easy to install and you want something a little bit more rugged compared to most of the options for the RAV4, then the Brenta C Tire Chains made by Pewag are going to be a great option for you. So let's kind of check them out. So we are going to have these installed on our front axle as what the manual recommends. And we're going to have this on tire size 235, 55, R19. Now that's just the tire size we have today. They will fit a multitude of other sizes. If you're not sure if this is going to fit your vehicle, you can actually plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the right one for you. But let's actually see what it's like to install these. Now there's a few things you want to do when you're getting ready. You want to check the chains and make sure there's no damages. So what I'm looking for is at these links, I'm making sure all our welds are looking fine. We don't have any cracks. They're all complete. And we also want to make sure it's in the right orientation. So the big thing to check is going to be right here. This hook, we want the flat side of that facing up, because that's going to be the side against our tire. We also want to make sure this blue chain or links are on the outside, away from your tire. And we don't have any connections here made in the center. Now before I actually get this on, when I make my connection on the back side, I'm going to make a connection here at the top, and that's just going to look like me grabbing this middle hook, pushing it through, making that connection like that. But you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. To get to that stage, I find it best to get in front of your chains and then put them behind your tire. If you're on a smoother surface like ice, you can really just slide them over. If you got a lot of snow around, you might have to chuck them a bit. And we can lay these out. Here, I'd just like to make sure there's no tangles occurring at the moment. And this is looking good. And now I can make that connection like I was talking about earlier, where we have that hook and that eyelet on one side going into each other, just like that. With that made, I'm going to drape the rest of the chains over, making sure I don't get caught on anything. I'm not tangling anything up. And I'm going to make a connection here at the top. You're going to have this yellow hook. It's going to grab right onto that yellow link, just like that. And then I'm going to kind of maneuver this so it's a little bit more centered. I'm going to go down to the bottom. And from here, we're going to take this red chain. We're going to slide it through that red opening here. We're going to apply tension here, making this tight. Then we're going to run that through these red hooks to make sure a tension is applied evenly. Each spot, kind of pull on it each time till that feels good. Then we're going to grab our assisted tensioner and find the closest point or the furthest point we can go while maintaining pretty tight fit. Just like that. And from here, it's a good idea just to pull it on it some. And if that feels good, you can repeat that process on the other side. And from here, it's a good idea to either back up some, pull forward some, and what will happen a lot of times is your chains will be just a little bit loose still. When you roll some, it's going to take any of that slack out and make everything nice and tight. And once you're done with that, you can take it out for a ride. Now that we actually have this installed, we can talk about some of the specs. So let's talk about the material. So looking at these links, these are going to be made from a titanium alloy. So this is going to be a very sturdy material compared to other metals chains are made of. So they're going to be very strong and they're going to be reliable because they won't rust over time. Now these links compared to other Class S links are going to be bigger. That's going to be square ones, so they're going to have a lot of bite for ice and snow. But since they are still Class S, we're going to have plenty of room to sit underneath your suspension and not make contact with anything. These are also going to be diamond pattern chains, so we're getting more coverage on the tire, which in turn is giving us more traction, so that's going to be great when you're making those turns. Now we go over to the center, we can check out what's kind of happening here. So this link These links are traveling across, pulling your other links in, and we have this rubber tensioner here to make sure everything stays nice and tight. So this is going to be more of a assisted tensioner. Now, if you want more of a self-tensioning system, then I'd recommend the Koenig Easy Fit tire chains, because those are going to have some built-in mechanisms to constantly apply tension so your chains don't loosen up on you. This is also going to prevent that, but that's just going to do just a little bit better of a job. Now, what you're going to get with this kit is going to be this case. Now, this case is pretty compact, very sturdy, made out of a sturdy plastic. If I open it up, you can kind of see what we're dealing with in here. You get these bags so you can keep them separate. I'm not a super big fan of that because these bags are probably going to get torn up after one use. I do wish there was some type of divider so they kept our chains separate so they don't get tangled up, but still, it's nice and compact so it won't take up much space in your vehicle. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a really good choice for the options the RAV4 has. It's not a whole lot, but what I like about this is we don't have to get underneath your vehicle and install this, because if you're stuck in a tricky situation where you have to put on some chains and you have to get underneath your vehicle, especially with all that snow, that's going to be a pretty tight fit. Something like this is going to make your life a lot easier. But talk about easier things, if you want an easier time, then I would go with the Koenig Easy Fit, because those are some where you don't even have to throw your chains behind, you just stand in front of it and push it on, and you activate that tightening mechanism, and then you're ready to go. But I will say these links are a little bit more beefy, so it could probably get you through some deeper situations. But this was just a look at the Pewag Brenta tire chains on our 2024 Toyota RAV4. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.